Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
Hi.
Hey.
Wendy, obviously, you've been directing for some time now. What did you learn from your last project you directed that helped you out with this particular project?
Wow, thank you so much for that. What I learned from my last project is that everything is different and to be totally present and to just embrace the moment. There's so many obstacles that come with directing, and especially when it's a short window of time, but to maximize that. And then to surround yourself by the experts. I was very intentional with everyone that I pulled in, from the production design to the DP to props to sets to everything. And then including, the talent that I had, and just really using that muscle and not being afraid to say, no, this is a non negotiable for me, and to work directly with the writer. And that's what I was able to do. So thank you so much for recognizing that.
Let's say, first thing I say is how tech savvy are you in real life and what led you to say yes to taking on this project?
Ooh.
I said yes because this was a stretch. And when I say a stretch, I mean a stretch. I couldn't even get on the Zoom. So, it's like I was the last one to get on the Zoom because I couldn't get the link right. It just, so this was acting. Okay. And it was very challenging for me. And that is part of the reason I liked it. I love the script. It was very, very different. We don't see Black women in this space. A tech savvy person, like I like to say, she was like the Black female Steve Jobs. She's creator of software. And, I loved that because we don't see that for us and we don't do that. So that was a big draw for me, besides Wendy directing. And I worked with her for 20 years. We've been sisters for all this time. Tisha, who we've known each other for a while, but we
never worked together.
And then Amiyah, my new love. I mean, I loved her on Star, and she's just the sweetest person. And we just had a sisterhood, and it was, a great, great experience. But I loved this character because we don't see this. And that's what I really loved about it. And I am far from it, put it that way.
I always wonder, like, whenever you play a character, whether it be on a TV show or a movie, how much stock do you take into the character? Like, you're a text person, do you do any research? For you, Tisha, obviously you're playing a former cop, like, was there any research done? Or it was like, oh no, I'm just a cop. I'm a retired cop on the movie.
No, we always do research, very technical, come from Stanislavski and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? But yes, Uta Hagen. But honestly, my whole entire family is blue collar. I have captains in the police force. I have lieutenants, sergeants, firemen. Everybody's from the military. So it's a part of my life. I'm the only person that can't shoot in the whole entire family. They laugh at me. And whenever I have to play a police officer, they always take me under their wing, but they're secretly talking about me behind my back. So am I a good shoot? No, but I can look like I can.
And Amiyah, you're working along with these people who've been in the game for a good minute. You have been in the game for a good minute now, but when you're learning, from the people in front and behind the camera, what are you getting out of this collaboration?
Oh my God. I mean, wisdom, advice, love. It was a blessing. I'm sure for everyone, but especially for me. I've seen and watched and admired these ladies for a long time. So to have the opportunity to work with them, to tell a new story, and for it to be amazing vibes, I feel like we got more than a movie. I got a sisterhood and I got a family.
Mm-hmm. Wendy, you've been also an actress as well. So, like, when you are directing and you're working with the screenwriter and you have this talent in front of you, is there a point in time when you're going along with the screenwriter to make sure everybody has a scene or show that makes them, like they have a scene?
Wow, thank you for that question. What's so interesting? I found moments that were inspired by the comedic genius of Tisha and Melissa. So there was a moment where I don't want to give away too much, but there was some edibles that were involved, and and I used the space that we had that was in the kitchen to create a moment that just it wasn't on the page, but I got inspired by the talent. And that was just one instance, and just really leaning towards the strength of my talent. that was there. And then working with a writer who, I mean, we had to pivot. The name of the movie should be Operation Auntie Pivot, because I mean, between rain, between losing sets that we had already found locations for, to just being able to adjust. And these women came in and they made the adjustments and we made it fun in the process.
Well, Wendy made it very safe for us as well.
you.
She led the way, and it was easy for us to trust her.
Yeah.
My thing is this.
Have an actor's director, she's a great one. Let's go there.
Yeah.
And like she said, she was very particular with all of the crew that she picked out. And so everybody they really rallied together, and they were great artists themselves, whether it was crafty to the grit, she was very selective. And so it was easy to work in that kind of environment.
Oh, thank you.
They always say black don't crack. So my question is, with that statement, why you got to call it Aunties? You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a new audience that doesn't know your background. They're like, they don't look that old. What's going on here?
I mean, but how do you look at Aunties though?
Amiyah had a really good take on it
too. Yeah, Auntie is a safe place. It is home. It's not Operation Big Sis. It's not Operation Sister. It's Operation Vigilantes, because we're vigilant. You get it? Vigilant.
There are moments in the film, obviously, where you have to draw a chuckle and so forth, because some of the scenes are like that, But do any of you come in there with funny bones when you're reading certain scenes? Obviously, behind the scenes, we saw that towards the end credits, we're like, okay, yeah, you guys are having fun. But during the shoot, how many takes did it take to get it right when you had to stop laughing? Because let's get this right. This is not a funny moment. Anyone can answer.
For me, you're looking at me, Wendy, aren't you? Listen, I thank the crew because they pasted lines up for me, because all that text stuff, I couldn't remember it. But there was one day, because this happened quickly. Tisha had signed on to this project like a year before me, months before me, and it went away and came back. I came in very, very last minute. So I didn't have much time with the script. So I admit I was struggling one day and I could not remember my lines. So I was going over and over. They kept doing it over and over. And I finally got it. And then my co-stars, who are two men, they just stood there staring at me and didn't pick up the cue because it took me so long to get it. And I was like, are you kidding me? I finally got it. And now you guys are not going to, they were like probably stunned, speechless. They were like, oh, the bitch finally got the lines right. You know what I mean? So that was funny for me. I did struggle with the lines because I had a lot of technical stuff to say and I had a short amount of time to learn it. But I wouldn't have gotten through it if I didn't have the support of Wendy and this crew and these actors who were very kind and patient and giving, and I felt supported. So that is the only way I got through it. Because imagine there's times when I don't remember my lines and I'm a guest star on a big show or something like that, or working with people that don't have patience. I've had people say, come on, Melissa, get it together. People are not always that giving and kind. If you're struggling, you got to get it going. But thank God that set was led by Wendy, and it had that feeling of support even when you were struggling.
Wendy, there's a lot of shows and movies coming out this summer, and people are, there's a battle to get everybody's attention. What's going to get an audience to watch Operation Aunties?
Let's say Tisha Campbell, Melissa Sousa, and Amiyah Scott. Okay, directed by Wendy Raquel. But outside of that, we haven't seen Black women in this light. We haven't explored technology. We haven't explored the bad brains and the balls of it all. And to see us empowered in such a wonderful story that is not only impactful, but is future forward thinking. How much do we know about the dark web, cryptocurrency, as well as the cyber attacks and things like that, but from our lens? So not only are we bringing that sauce that we have, but we're also bringing that secret weapon, which is, the beauty and the brains of it all. And the wig woman. We don't even talk about that. Okay. There's a whole superpower that we got in this show. That's a whole.
I wasn't going to touch that. I can't relate, so I wasn't going to go there.
You can go there though, because it's very relevant, and then we have AI we have made it our friend, not our foe. So the AI element is very important. And I think it's so relevant right now. It's so relevant. It's so timely. It's actually ahead of its time because we shot it, a year ago, and then we were writing it. Well, TJ wrote it maybe about 2.5 years ago. So the relevancy is powerful. It's so impactful right now.
Yeah, AI keeps evolving. You don't know where it's going to go, how it helps us or hurts us. But
Right.
congrats to you all for this film. I'm sure there's going to be an audience. That's our job to let audience know to hear. Look out for Operation Aunties, directed by you and starring them. So congrats to you all. We'll talk down the road. Take
And it's
care.
for all generations, not just for the aunties. It's for everybody.
Yeah. Sit back and have some fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
care, folks.
Bye.